Me. I am a memoir. I said a memoir. The meaning of Mariah Carey.
Hello, Lamely. Welcome to the final chapter in this section of Sing Sing in Mariah Carey's memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey. This is Fab, that is Posh, and we are digging deep into Mariah's final moments with Tommy, which is...
I almost forget that we're reading a book.
I know.
I was like... How do the episodes work again?
I know, because we spent 16 months listening to the Butterfly album.
Yes, in a cocoon.
we did spend a lot of time in that cocoon. But now we're out of the cocoon and we are going to look at a rainbow. So before we get on to anything book-related, we probably have a month's worth of Mimi moments to catch up on, do we not?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Mimi moments. All right, so we've got the headlines, we've got the lead stories, we have like developing stories. It's all
developing
happening.
And do we have a Posh date on the album? Because you often a Posh update on how you feel. Because sometimes we finish recording our albums and you go, actually, no.
So I did go back and actually more than even just going back, I just had certain songs pop into my head throughout the week.
I had the same thing this week.
Yes. Which songs were popping up for you?
A Baby Doll. It just
at least it wasn't.
It wouldn't leave my head. The beautiful ones. I know that's always in there.
That's the dreadful ones, as I've christened it this week.
that lives rent free in my mind.
No.
Do you want Cisco?
So, but the two that really have stood out are Whenever You Call. And I think I'm getting used to the key change. Like, I'm kind of like, okay, well, it's there. I can't change it.
No. Well, I mean, it changes, but not in the way you like.
It changes, but yeah. Whereas the other song that surprised me that's been in my head is Butterfly.
Yeah, that one gets its hooks in.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd known that song since 1997. That was one of the ones that I did know, but I just never really got it. I don't know. It's once I saw the horse running around, it was all... I was ready.
You were ready.
I was like, oh, it's not even about butterflies. Now I get it. So
it's kind of weird for a woman that names her albums Butterflies and Rainbows. Like, it's like, oh, it's all girly. It's like, oh no, this is some deep shit.
Yeah. And also this song called Butterfly, it's going to be about a horse. All right.
It's going to be about a horse. A wild horse that runs unbridled before its spirit dies.
Well, that's why she's like, I don't want the spirit to die. I'd better do it.
Yay, see ya.
But yes, we do have oh my goodness, a never-ending thread of Mimi moments this week. So I'll try to bash through them as quickly as possible.
Go.
So Mariah has alluded to a sequel of The Meaning of Mariah Carey with a tweet saying, now playing Space Oddity by the legendary Bowie. I met him with Iman once. It was amazing, but I'll keep that story for my next book.
What? We have
or
to keep
or
doing
just
this.
me. I know.
We're barely going to finish this podcast.
I know. We are going to. I know. She did say, or just for her. She's not. It's undecided. But I'm like, what else would there be to tell, Mariah?
Oh, so many stories.
Goodness.
Like, you know, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface, and we're only halfway through our marriage.
That's true. Yeah. Now, Mariah also gave us a little flashback pic with the caption, "A sad attempt at the Rachel hairdo," but Jennifer Aniston has responded that she loves it. So this is hashtag Aniston approved.
That actual made actual news for some reason.
I know. It's like the news is 59 minutes COVID and 1 minute Mariah Jennifer Aniston hair.
Seriously, I'm so glad I don't do celebrity gossip anymore, because all I would be doing is checking for the blue tick in likes on celebrities' Instagrams. Has any other celebrity liked this?
Yeah.
Can I concoct a feud?
Oh, someone from Survivor? Perfect.
Can I make up a few
someone else from this radio station? Great.
from some shade written down here? There you go. That'll do.
You'd probably just get all of your news from Me Moments. Let's be
Probably.
real.
That's
It's the only news source
yeah.
that matters.
That is the only news source that matters.
Now we also had Olympian Karen Clement speaking out about Mariah's Butterfly album, particularly the song Outside, saying, "I would listen to it nonstop. I related to how I felt. I related to how I felt about my sexuality, which made Mariah's day."
Of course it did.
Very touched by that. And then the last of the headlines is The Meaning of Mariah Carey is being re-released in paperback with a new cover.
Oh,
this
I know.
time using the photo of Little Mariah from the
Little
back.
Mariah. And I did love that our very good friend Michael Angeles Davis.
Yes. Why are you laughing? That is her name.
That's not how you say Michaela. But I love that she was talking about, you know how we've often talked about Mariah's inner child coming out and her releasing the inner child, and seeing her kind of tweet, you know, that we're right. You know, that is exactly what was going on, that Mariah was writing this book for that girl. So, yeah.
Maybe it's because I can't even say hard to say now at this point. Michael Angeles Davis is listening to our podcast and she's just like going back and forth with it. She's getting it. And she's like, you know what? They're onto something.
That she knows that we know that they know
exactly.
that she knows that Mariah knows.
Mariah and Little Mariah knows.
And Little Mariah is
and
all
now
over.
the world knows. So
world knows.
I think that it's like synergy. I don't know what that word means, but I think it relates. But there is no word yet as to whether there will still be intermingling hair on the spine.
Yes.
But since the picture has been flipped, we can only hope.
Yes.
In our lead stories,
Multiple lead stories.
I know, and some of them are kind of breaking while this is all happening. Mariah has allegedly left Rock Nation for Range Media Partners with speculation of an explosive blowout between Mariah and Jay-Z.
No, she closed that down.
Right? I'm all over this. Don't you worry. Like, I am Carrie Big Ball. Mariah responded to this in a tweet saying, "The only explosive situation I'd ever get into with Hove, which I think is H to the Izzo, that name, is a creative tangent, such as our number one song, Heartbreaker. To the people who make up these lies, I say, poof, vamoose, son of a bitch." She didn't write bitch, but that's the lyric. Now, though she hasn't actually commented about whether or not she's left the company after 3 years with them, not that we would ever speculate, darling, no.
Oh, no, there was a confirmation that she has definitely left.
Yeah, so this is where things got a little confused. But it does appear that if there was drama, that it does not involve Mr. Z.
No. It's because her manager at Rock Nation has gone to this other company.
Sure.
So she's just followed her. She's just basically kept the same manager. Her manager has changed companies, and Mariah's just probably called up Jay-Z and gone, "Hey, I know what's her face isn't working there anymore. Do you mind if I go over with her because I really like her?"
I don't know her name, but
and Jay-Z's probably gone, "Yeah, I've got Rihanna. What do I care?
yeah, I'm fine.
I've got Rihanna and her $1 billion makeup company. What do I care?"
She doesn't even need to release music. It's fine. Now, we also have had some movement in the court case of MCV Morgan.
Morgan. The judge says
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That's how he's announced. So in new court papers filed by Mariah's legal team, it claims that she didn't defame her brother when she portrayed him as violent in her tell-all memoir, since it's in the public interest for her to inspire people to overcome adversity. Mm-hmm. And apparently her claims mean that he would have to meet a higher legal standard to prove defamation, which they're saying it does not meet. So
Also, truth is a defense. If there is, is he saying it didn't happen?
Well, that's what's, it's muddy. This is why it's developing.
Yeah.
There's been no word on the earlier Allison legalities. I'm like Alison Beale. Listen to me.
You mean the attempt to visit the ATM one more time?
Yeah. She doesn't have her wig on yet. No, we're not ready. Not ready.
Until Mariah's got her wig on before you go and punch those buttons.
And then finally, this is another little bit of breaking news. We have a new song.
Oh, what? No!
So Jimmy Jam and
And
Terry
how
Lewis,
good is the timing?
right?
Oh, anyway, go.
So Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who are actually mentioned in this chapter, as you just alluded to,
We're about to get to them.
are reuniting with Mariah. Have reunited because I started literally writing this moment as it's about to be released, and then boom, it was.
It was. It's out.
So I haven't even, the tenses are all over the place. But the song is titled Somewhat Loved. So I saw it uploaded about midnight last night.
A text
And I
message.
sent it straight to you, hot off the presses. So did you have a listen and how are we feeling?
Did. I thought featuring Mariah, I thought, oh, it's going to be, she'll sing a line here and there. No.
Give it to me.
It's a Mariah Carey song.
Yeah.
It's that's the thing. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they're music makers, and I guess she's just doing the vocals, but she's all over it.
Yeah.
It sounds like, and they've done a lot of work together before, so it just sounds like a Mariah song.
Yeah,
And
I did
it's-
wonder, did she write it? I was trying to find that.
Yeah,
it's
I
all so
know.
fresh that you can't, have
It's all
yet to
new.
find that out.
It's got a great hook. It's like, and I've only listened to it once.
Oh, wow.
I know. I've had
I
a
did
very
it twice.
big
I'm
day.
beating you.
You are beating me. But it was one of those songs I was like, I like this already.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I don't often say that with a song. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I'm into
I
this.
really don't say it.
you never do. But I was like, I'm going to listen to this a lot more. And that was why I only listened to it once, because I was like, if it was a song I was like, no, I don't know how I feel about it, I would have listened to it again. But it was like,
Sure.
oh, I like this already. And I put this on a few more times.
Yeah.
When I've got when I'm having my
That's
special
all do.
time.
Oh,
When Mama's having a special
I
time.
know. What does that even mean?
When I'm in the bath.
You're farting too, aren't you?
Yeah. Making my own bubbles.
Fab farted before and it was a whole thing. I couldn't.
Having some gastric
Couldn't
issues.
deal.
I'm old. It happens to us old people.
So what I wrote for this was basically what you said. I said I liked it right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's catchy. It's a great example of Mariah doing Mariah. This is
Mm-hmm.
not chasing a trend. It's Mariah doing what works and what we would want from a song with her and Jam and Lewis. And I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Get out.
I did.
And also,
I said,
just when I was like, oh, that's been good. I've enjoyed. Whistle time!
I know. It is all happening. So I did write that we're not being with it long enough for infinity, but it could go there.
but
We'll see.
Look, if I listen to it one more time, it'll get infinity to death.
But that brings us to the end of a lengthy,
Oh, so many
girthy
moments.
Mimi moment.
Mimi moments has girth.
Sometimes it does.
Speaking of girth, shall we get into that recap?
How about a recap? A recap. Would you like a recap? Recap.
Well, this is not so much a recap, more a decap. Mariah recorded the album Butterfly. She got a quickie divorce in the Dominican Republic, and she finally got that sweet vitamin D. And then she broke a glass. Also, there was an Alyssa Milano poster, and
There
Posh
was.
dilated.
I forgot about all of this. I'm ready for the dilation to calm down now, darling. We left it too long.
I know, it's a big recap. All right, so that leads us on to the gist.
The gist.
The gist this week is that Mariah goes over Tommy's head to the big boss. She sings with Whitney and pushes out 4 albums. It's a big chapter.
Yeah. Just when I thought our special little moments with the albums was coming down, it's like, oh, no. Here's 4. Quadruple DP.
Quadruple DP. And 2 of them are double albums. It's,
Oh, God.
It's
It's a
essentially an
sextuplet.
octuple DP.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's 16. We might need to,
I'm going to need calipers. All right, it's time to break me all down.
Break me
we are well and truly broken.
We are broken.
All right, so we are at the final chapter of Sing Sing, A Visit to the President.
A visit to the I was hoping it was going to be like Bill Clinton or George W.
Right.
Bush or...
We find out that there was an affair happening there that we didn't know about. Not between Mariah and them, but Bush and Clinton.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, killer.
So Mariah wanted freedom and she was going to get it, you
Yes.
guys. Mariah was known at Sony as the franchise.
The franchise.
And when she wanted to leave, they made it difficult.
I was known at my job as the French fries.
Why? Do I want to know? I don't
No,
know.
I wasn't. I'm just trying to join
I'm just
in.
known as this bitch.
This
But no, there
join
was...
in the franchise tour.
Right?
I
Oh, don't worry.
Be a
There's,
franchise. Imagine being a franchise.
right? There is... Just wait. There's a moment. Now, there were negotiations, darling. And they ended up settling on a studio album, which became Rainbow. And a greatest hits album, which Mariah was resistant to because she felt they were trying to sew me up with the 90s.
Yeah. Well, 90s are done, and so is Mariah.
That's Mariah. Stitchy, stitchy. Which is what we'll need after the octuplet of DP. But no matter what, Tommy was still in control at Sony Music. There was no one above him, so he was essentially holding her hostage.
He was the boss. He was the ex and the boss. It's a bad... This is why you don't get...
Are you about to lecture Mariah?
I'm about to lecture everybody for,
Everybody.
getting into this 50 Shades of Grey weirdness.
I do always think at my work, I'm like... I don't, like, you sort of think, oh, I wonder if anyone's having a secret affair, but at the same time, ew. Because I'm like, everyone at my work, as far as I'm concerned, is asexual. Like, I'm here to work. Don't talk to me, let alone touch me. Anyway.
I want now to do with it.
So Mariah decided it was time to pay a visit to the president of Sony Corporation. I'm going to muck up the name now, even though I did listen this week, but Norio Oga? Sure. Mariah knew this was wild, but she was the most successful artist in Japan for Sony, but let's just say in all of Japan. So she figured she'd at least get a meeting.
Yep.
Mariah's executive assistant, I just wrote, ooh, someone got a promotion, made the arrangements for the two of them, and not even Mariah's lawyer was coming.
No, that is a big
lawyer.
deal. Like,
I know.
that's...
I know, a promotion to executive assistant, big.
I know.
Still don't have a name, but
My executive assistant.
yeah.
Thingy. You know her, the assistant.
Yeah. It just
Not
means you
that
have to-
assistant, the executive.
the
The boss
exec-
of the assistants.
Yeah.
She always wears a hat.
I think. I don't really see it.
That could be her hair. I don't know.
But no, it's true. Like Mariah, like imagine that plane trip. Just like off I pop to Japan, doing something
it's
a bit
a
scary.
Big deal. Like, she's
Yeah.
going over the head of the record label to the boss of PlayStation. Like, he's not just the boss of PlayStation, he's the boss of Sony Pictures. Like, he's the boss of
Yeah.
Columbia. He's the boss of Spider-Man. He's the
Yeah,
boss.
definitely.
He's the boss of the TVs and the DVD
Yes.
players. Like, he's
But,
the big boss.
And I feel like they even have the cheapy versions of them. Like, you know, I think like Sonic or something is also
Oh.
Sony, but not really.
Yes,
You know, but it is. It's like Pantene put their lob into other stuff as well. Anyway.
At Aldi.
Yes, exactly. Because it's
make
like, well, we've got
Aldi
extra.
brand.
Go on.
We've made too many. Put some in a different colour box and tell Aldi we've got them spare.
So while Mariah had visited Japan before and knew some of the customs, it was a little more difficult to navigate the cultural expectations around gender. So a young woman of colour going to the president of the company was a very big deal.
Very big deal. And it's a huge company. Like, it's, yeah.
Like there was some Get Smart stuff going on, definitely in those
Oh yeah, she had to go to
corridors.
7 corridors, 2
Yeah.
lifts. Yeah.
My throat's too sort of squeal.
Our listeners will thank you.
Our listener will thank us. But Mariah knew it was ballsy, but she had the numbers to back her up because back then it was all about the physical sales.
Mm-hmm.
And Mariah was like, my fans are all gay. They've got everything. They've collected
got
everything.
One of each.
Yeah. Yeah, of each version, the internationals and everything.
Everything.
And Mariah goes on to say she never knew just how much she made for Sony, but was told it was billions.
I was told it was billions.
Yes, it was a casual conversation.
Look, I've been told it was
Yeah.
billions by some rando on the internet.
Yeah,
I've
by-
been told.
Yeah, MariahFacts.com stated... It was me. She actually probably listened to one of my
it was
many
one of the
accolade
One of your lists
paragraphs.
of
Of definitely true achievements. So the meeting was far more formal than Mariah had expected, but she'd not really had any preparation for what was about, and you need that courtesy finger, darling.
Oh, you do.
But she did go in with a purpose. To form an exit strategy so that she could ensure the final project she did with Sony was still properly promoted, because she wanted to give the lambs her best and essentially avoid Tommy trying to squish them. This was a plan that Mariah thought, it's good for me, it's good for the lambs, and it's good for the Sony.
Yeah.
So I feel like it kind of happened a little anyway.
Yeah.
Would we say that?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, what I loved is that she's just like... like she wanted to get Tommy fired, essentially.
I know.
She's gone in there going,
Fingers
I'm
crossed."
leaving. I don't have to, but I'm leaving.
I really want.
And, I'll agree to do a whole
Billions
bunch
of dollars.
Billions of dollars, but I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But I probably could be convinced to stay, but I can't say why. Or how. But I'm leaving.
And here's my new business card, former Mrs. Matola.
Former Mrs. Matola.
Slides
Not,
it across.
just
Not
cross
current.
out
You'll see.
Matola.
Yeah. You'll see. No
Mariah.
longer current. My name is Mariah.
Mariah Carey. Tommyopolis.
Tommy. Why are we Greek again? That was a whole side plot.
We went to Greek.
Now, Tommy had
gone
previously... I know. It's been a while since we've done a chapter. I'm in lockdown. It's a whole moment.
I know.
Tommy had previously gone to the president to oust Walter Yetnikov. Maybe another Walter should have been ousted as well.
Yeah.
Now, this business was cutthroat and the men were encouraged to stand up for themselves. So Mariah was like, I'm going to take the same approach and hopefully get him fired.
I'll be like a man and try and get someone stabbed in the back.
As you stated, she didn't really want to leave, but the whole CEO marriage was making things difficult. And, it wasn't the first time he'd caused issues.
No.
There was a George Michael moment. There was a Michael Jackson moment. And that was, I remember that from the news back then.
Yeah.
Now, the meeting was short and sadly Tommy was not fired. But Mr. Sony respected Mariah enough to come to an agreement, leaving the door open to return to Sony years later with caution.
Years later.
Her most critically acclaimed album, just sprinkling that in.
Yeah. I love that we've come to the end of her career. Well, not
I know,
the end, but the most recent moment
End
in
of
her
book.
career.
The deal was she couldn't speak about anything else ever again. So they arrived at a final deal that included 4 albums, so 2 more than it was already decided, to be delivered over the next 5 years. We had number ones, Rainbow, Greatest Hits, and the remixes.
So 3 compilations and a newie.
Yes. 2 of them, Greatest Hits, it's confusing, but we will touch on that. So number ones came out first. As she was reluctant to simply release old music, Mariah added 4 new tracks to the album, which we will be covering in a very special number ones episode coming very soon. One of the new songs was a duet with Whitney Houston, When You Believe, recorded for the film The Prince of Egypt, the most successful non-Disney animated feature of all time, darling.
Yes, darling.
So Mariah was very excited to work with Whitney. Everyone had wanted to pit them against each other in a battle of the divas.
I know. I remember that being a thing at the time.
Oh, for sure. I think it's still a thing. Like, people still, like, try to do that.
Whitney's dead. It's hard to be in a
She
feud
lives-
with someone
she
who
lives
is not
forever.
alive.
You watch me. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
successfully
Right, talking about
being a feud.
you having a feud with
Yeah.
Oprah.
Oprah's still alive. But
Oprah doesn't know you are, though.
she will.
That sounds more like a threat.
Sounds really bad. doesn't it? Well, I mean, we're at 2 degrees of Oprah-splaining at this point because we've got Michelangelo Davis, who used to work with Oprah.
That's true.
So I'm sure that Michaela has passed this on.
That you're having a
and
feud.
that we're in a feud, and I'm sure it will be addressed. Probably in a, like, you know, we interrupt this program style address. I don't know.
It'll be very, like, yeah.
We'll get Reese on the phone, like on the Zoom.
Reese
It's all
will be
it's
there,
happening.
talking about the
Why? What are we on right now?
I don't know.
So
I'm just indulging you.
we had the Battle of the Divas, but for Mariah, they were so different. Okay,
Yeah.
Mariah loved layering vocals, writing, producing, doing all the behind the scenes stuff. Whitney, however, was born into it, like a royal singing princess or Tori Spelling.
No! No, there's a difference in that Whitney had some talent.
There was just something in the
If
way
you
that
said
Mariah...
Randy Spelling, then that'd be an insult.
So I started with Lisa Marie Presley, but there was just something about Tori Spelling and the Royal Princess that
Yeah.
I was like, it's got to be Tori.
I mean, look, Dionne Warwick is her aunt, so she is
Tori
kind of-
Spellings.
No, Whitney Houston. So there is, kind of. I guess technically Mariah's right. Like, she was born into a singing.
It just sounded so funny that it was like, no, but I do this and this and this and this, and no, she sings good, I guess. Yeah. Her dad got her the job on 90210. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry, she auditioned. But no, it just made me laugh. Anyway, they complimented each other.
Yes.
And they were both, of course, anchored by the Lord Baby Cheeses. And after some initial iciness born of outside forces, that wore off and they developed a real connection.
Yeah.
And Whitney even started using some Mariahisms and calling her Lamb.
Oh, cute.
She's cute. Now, Bobby Brown was around, but Mariah knows none of the drama. That was none of her business.
No, I know no drama. I just know I sang a song with Whitney. She is
That's
now
it.
no longer with us, and I will say nothing more about it.
On to Rainbow. So that's literally what happens. We jump onto
what
Rainbow.
made me sad was because this is, I had to go and watch the video. Was seeing Bobby Christina when she was little.
I know, it's sort of hard to believe, isn't it? The whole thing. You just go, oh, that happened.
It all happened.
Yeah.
The whole Whitney thing happened.
Yeah. A lot of people in this book. Prince.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. It's
A lot of people
it's-
in this chapter. Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Prince, and Whitney are all in this chapter.
Yeah.
Oh, this chapter's cursed.
And look,
I think they were dead
I'll be
when
honest.
she wrote it.
I'm a little concerned for Debrat's grandmother too, if I'm being honest.
Poor Brat's grandmother.
So Rainbow came out next, and for some reason had to be completed within a 3-month period.
Oh no,
So-
not these hurried albums
I
again.
know. So Randy Jackson suggested she head to Capri to write and record in peace. So she got a little studio apartment, which I assume was just a subtle 10,000 square feet.
I think it was
Tiny.
a studio apartment, like an apartment with a recording studio.
Yeah, I know.
We think studio apartment, one room
Like one
with
bedroom.
a sink next to the toilet.
Yeah, and the bed folds
the
out
bed.
from the wall.
The bed and the loo are all in the one room. You do a shit next to your pillow.
Is that not normal?
No, you need a big house.
So, yes, each day she would light candles and hunker down to write and record, mostly by herself, but also with Terry Lewis and the Jimmy Jam.
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. I know, we've come full circle.
I know.
love
I
this.
wonder if they're still in touch.
You just told us in Me moments.
I
Don't make me
know.
confused.
It was a thing. I know. I thought how that's happened a few times with this podcast. As we're reading, something will
pop
up.
I know.
It's crazy. Now they worked on "Can't Take That Away," Mariah's theme.
Oh.
I mean, obviously the catalyst for one of our sections in this podcast.
Yes.
Which the song was then taken to Diane Warren. Never heard of it. He
What?
added even.
Don't
I'm joking.
even.
That was a
Don't
joke.
even.
Joke. Obviously. So she added even more to the song, which was about Mariah's personal and professional situation in this moment. But yeah, I know Diane Warren is one of those names. It's like Carole King. It's just like you just know who this person is.
Yeah.
Now, the video was produced and paid for by Mariah, including real fans and user-generated content, which we, of course, will go further into in our Rainbow episode. But Mariah wanted to center her fans in the video to express how they felt about the songs she was writing for them. It featured Venus and Serena. We love Venus and Serena because, of course, Serena is the manicurist to Mariah's beauty schoolness, whose only client is Oprah.
Their only client is Oprah.
And we also
only
had
one who can afford
so
it.
do I. We also had Mariah's nephew Sean, who, despite having a troubled teenager as a mother, went on to graduate from Harvard Law. Snaps for Sean.
Good on you, Sean.
And of course, Debrat's grandmother.
I'm mad for Debrat's grandmother.
The icon that is the legend, the icon, the brat. Now, the song didn't do much on the charts because the label barely promoted it, thus marking... I know I need to stop on the darling. It's just every episode I'm getting more and more. I'm morphing into Mariah.
You're turning into... You're picking up her vernacular.
I am. I do that. I do it with accents too, which can be problematic. So, yes, Mariah's label barely promoted it, thus marking the beginning. Thus marking the beginning of their darling sabotage, darling campaign. Darling. But it mattered.
Campaign.
It mattered to the fans. It mattered to Mariah.
It matters
and
to me.
It matters to us. She still listens to it to this day.
As do I. It is.
I've always known this to be a favourite of yours.
Yes, it is. Mariah's theme is my theme. It's a very... And also, some great remixes.
I should have known. I should have known.
Mariah's 12-inch, 12-minute theme.
That is the lesson. Now, another important song was, of course, Petals.
Oh, yeah. We've had a lot of petals in this book.
It was about life, family, growth, and served as both a thank you and a farewell to the toxic influences in Mariah's life. The song has Mariah offer forgiveness and hope for a better life with less hurt and more healing. But even now, sometimes she still struggles to sing it.
Yeah.
That's another song that will be hitting up on the Rainbow, which had 2 number ones. Heartbreaker. That was your Aussie. Heartbreaker, you got the best of me.
Do you know, we sing that song at work all the time. Because when we're writing questions for hard quiz, we have to write tiebreakers, and whenever we go, which one is it? Tiebreaker, you got the best of me.
And you're like, tie.
Every time. No, I'm not the only one. I didn't come up with this, by the way. This was not my invention. This was Vaya Pashos from...
I was going to say, which other homosexual came up with it?
Vaya from the Neighbours podcast. She said, she just sang it one day, and I was like, oh, don't, you can't Mariah me. It's going to be like, that's all I'll say every time. And now, every time it comes up at work. Tiebreaker, you got the best of me.
Tom starts rapping. Brockle Snitch.
That's a very good
has
twerk.
A little feature. Oh, God. So, yes, the 2 number ones, Heartbreaker and Thank God I Found You. She felt it was important to pull together people for the album that she felt were defining the time.
Yeah.
We had Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion,
Joggy, yes.
Jay-Z, Missy Elliott, 98 Degrees.
Brat. 98 Degrees featuring Nick Lachey, a.k.a. the ex-Mr. Jessica Simpson.
It's like one of those things like, one of these things is not like the other. Because I just feel like 98 Degrees, did they define anything?
No, they were,
other than the weather?
Boy bands were becoming a thing. Like, they were turning into a thing. She was on it before One Direction turned up.
Still 98 Degrees.
I know.
I think... Thankfully,
Also,
it's
there's a
that song
single, one of the singles from this album has Westlife on it.
Yeah, confusing. Now, Rainbow closed out the 20th century, and for Mariah was a bridge to freedom. But as they say, insert darlings, freedom ain't free.
No.
It ain't free. Mariah touches on some of her process, mainly about how she likes to do the vocal parts on her own. She doesn't want to consider other people's opinions in the development stages. She wants to take her time and feel it out. So I did think this would be exciting for the Lamley. It doesn't, that sort of sums it up, but
I love that
I
she
was
said,
like, this is...
if I could do my engineering, I'd be like Prince. But she's like, I don't want to be pressing all those buttons.
I just got my
I
nails
have
done.
I have to cut my nails down to push the
Serena
sliders.
gave me a freebie. I don't want to ruin her hard work. She's only won one Grand Slam this year. She needs the work, darling. So the remaining releases from Sony came out over the next few years. Greatest Hits, which had the commercially successful hits, plus some fan favourites. And the remixes
including your favourite, Underneath the Stars.
Sure. It's like actual anger now.
I say it, it's true.
It's my favourite song to not like. No, it's actually not. That belongs to the Dreadful Ones.
My favourite.
Is it?
Ones.
We're turning into siblings.
Cisco.
Plonky plonk. It's a hard not life for us. What am I don't even know where I'm up to. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Fan favourites. And the remix is in 2003, by which time Tommy had stepped down, so Mariah had more creative input.
Mm-hmm.
The remixes had a disc of club mixes and a disc of the hip-hop collabs, including
good.
All I Want for Christmas with Lil Bow Wow. He was still Lil Ben. And her hit with Busta Rhymes in Flip Mode Squad, I Know What You Want, which confused me for a second, but then I was like, okay, it came out in 2003. So she was obviously signed to someone else for a bit.
But Sony still had all their back catalogue.
Exactly, and they still had this signed. Yeah, kill. And we'll, of course, touch on all of this in our remixes episode.
Yes.
Probably coming towards the end so we can encompass all of the remixes.
All of them.
But before these were released...
12 remix episodes, all 12 minutes long, of 12 inches.
And all 12 of them will be solo projects.
What are you talking about? I do a solo podcast anyway.
It's true.
It's no problem for me.
I'll just pop in once a week and just see how you're going.
Are you still talking about that song? Yes!
It hasn't ended, so I haven't even talked about it yet.
Cisco's still singing his own name.
Oh my God. But before these were released, Mariah sealed a new deal, signing with Virgin Records, who also repped Janet and Lenny Kravitz.
Mm-hmm. Lenny Kravitz, who was in the book earlier when she had ice in her flap.
I know. And Janet Jackson, sister of Michael Jackson, who was also in this chapter. It is all happening.
It's all happening. Also, Janet Jackson was in the TV show Fame with Debbie Allen, who taught her how to dance.
Amazing.
And
Paula Abdul also taught Mariah how to dance, and she was on American Idol, and so was Mariah. What?
Paula Abdul in it.
On American Idol?
No, I know. But I don't remember when she taught Mariah how to
Paula
dance.
Abdul? Paula Abdul taught Janet how to dance, and so on. I got there. Yeah. It makes sense.
I see. Yeah.
My brain hurts. And of course, I believe, this was not mentioned, but I believe that this record deal was historic.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of them going on at this time. It was like a weird turn of the millennium thing, like all
Yeah.
the record companies shipped out
Including,
their old
I think,
stars.
I think Michael Jackson with Sony, I think.
Yeah. And Whitney,
then it
I think,
turns out-
changed like record labels as well. Like she went somewhere else, and yeah, because I think she was also part of Sony. But yeah, there was a whole. They shipped off a whole bunch of them.
And look, some of this may be in the chapters to come,
They could
but
be.
I thought we should at least touch on
I
it.
think it was something to do with Tommy. I think maybe he was upsetting everyone, so everyone was leaving.
Right. Okay. So, with this new deal signed, Mariah was ready to embark on the project that would change her life. How very exciting. An exciting new project that's a movie and a soundtrack called Glitter. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle.
God, I'm so
glitter.
excited that we're going into glitter.
I feel like this project is going to turn out to be really great for Mariah.
It is going to be amazing.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because currently we don't know anything about this, but
No.
it just feels good.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to go smoothly. Probably nothing regular happens.
nothing regular will happen.
No. That does bring us to the end of not only this chapter, but of Sing Sing.
I know.
And we'll never hear from Tommy again.
Yay! Oh,
Woo.
I'm worried that we will.
So I think it's time for Mariah meeting us.
Mariah made it.
Oh, all right. How did the Lamely go with our meatiness?
All right, so a little fresher for Just Like Honey. I gave that infinity. I was feeling generous that day. Fab gave it My All Cry Infinity Baby.
Yes, because there were too many origins. I was
All
overwhelmed.
of the origin. You weren't sure, but then there was origins.
Yeah, then it was
So,
origins. Yeah.
and the Lamley did give it 100% infinity.
Yeah. Excellent.
So for a visit to the president, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'm more than happy to go first
you go first.
because this was going to get themefinity because of Mariah's theme being written with Diane Warren. Like, visit to the president aside, it's all about the theme for me today. So it's
Okay.
getting themefinity. I can't go above themefinity.
Did you notice anything else that happened in the chapter?
She sang with Whitney. It could be Believefinity. But I'm going to have some serious words about When You Believe when we do our number ones.
Oh. Do you have some number twos about the number ones?
No,
Okay.
I have nothing but praise.
Oh, good. Okay. It's very exciting. So for me, I'll be honest, like, I didn't know if the origins, I think what was slightly, not a letdown, but obviously we already kind of knew about Petals.
Yes.
So that didn't feel like an origin.
No.
And I didn't feel like the origins were as meaty in this one.
Well, because we were trying, like, you know, writing-wise, because she's written these sections as, like, little books of their own, I guess, little acts of, like, dramatic acts. If the vitamin D is the climax of the last act, like getting married, terrible marriage, you know, all of that happens, and we have the vitamin D, that's a big... So this chapter is our denouement, which is the bit of story you have after the end, where you tie up all the loose ends.
Oh, so it's like the taint.
Yeah. Don't know how you went there, but you did. But
You said the bit of, yeah.
you know you know when you get like the big and then you have like the bit at the end of the episode where it's like, oh, and then you know they went to jail because that was the murderer, and that's
Yeah, sure.
and Denzel Washington was fine; he wasn't killed in the movie, and Angelina Jolie's now really good friends with him. You know, the end bit of the movie where everything kind of like peters out a
And
little bit.
I think this is what's particularly for this chapter, maybe where it did suffer. Is you're right. For me, I said it felt like less of a wrapping up of Sing Sing and more of a prelude to Glitter.
And I think
In a way, it's kind of neither
yeah,
and both.
I think it's doing both of those things, but also, you know, we've got some Whitney moments. We've got a brief bit of Bobby Brown shade. That's not shade. He was there. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, then you're going to be mad at me because I gave it a 9.
Oh, that's fine. You were allowed to give it
still
9. I don't get angry at your harsh judgments.
You just judge.
Shady
Judge them.
scores. You prolo piece of shit.
All right, so I will put that up for the Lamely to have a little vote, and we'll see what happens.
Infinity.
All right, so it is time for the remix. I have a very exciting remix this week that actually ties back to something you were sort of joking about before.
Okay.
I'd have probably taken the nickname The Franchise literally and opened up a bunch of Mariah stores across the globe. A Parmesan-free fast food chain serving Mariah milkshakes, festive French fries, Debrat burgers, Patricia Slaw, and Nana Della Reese's Pieces.
Oh, that reminds me. I haven't checked if I can buy those biscuits yet. Where are they?
Mariah's cookies. Yeah, they've just started baking them in store. So when you started talking about franchises, I was like, just you wait.
Oh, the franchise.
It's happening. And imagine it could have like the symbol, like the logo, just imagine it. Could be a huge M. Never been done before.
No. Although she should not open a shop near the New South Wales town of Yass, because that would look bad.
I'd give my ass. For people who don't know what we're talking about, there is a town in Australia called Yass or Yass.
As in, yes, Queen.
Yass Queen. But it was named that long before that.
It's been
and
called that
Queer
a long
Eye
time.
actually went and did a video, a little makeover. But the McDonald's has, I mean, I've never heard of McDonald's, but has the big M.
Yes.
It just says
as you're
M,
driving down the
Yass.
freeway. It's a big M.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Yass. So it just
70
looks like,
kilometres or whatever it is away.
Yeah. And it looks like my ass.
It does. It says my ass.
I give
my ass to have.
Double quarter pounder. I don't know. That's not even my order. I'm a McNugget guy. Shut up, Phil.
You didn't go to McDonald's.
No, don't really. I don't know what it is. What are these big M's?
I'm an
Mariah.
Oporto. I love an Oporto.
Oh, is that sandwiches?
It's chicken, chili, cheese, burgers.
Or the
Chicken, chili, and cheese. Chicken. It's Portuguese. It's sort of Nando's, but from Bondi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is your remix?
My remix is Mariah should go to Oporto. No.
Moporto.
My remix is just fuck you, Tommy. Like, there needs to be more Mariah's theme in the world. Like, the support she did not get for that song hurts me. I do have it as a vinyl 12-inch, 12-minute remix.
Not
and the
surprising.
cover art was beautiful. She was in a garden.
Is it the rainbowy one? It's
She's in a dress and she's this beautiful garden everywhere, and it's such a great song. And my remix is just like, put it on the radio one time. Anyway,
it does seem that there was a lot of like singles from this era that like were not commissioned, but like, you know, like pressed. The CDs were pressed, sent out to stores, and then actually no, it's not an official single.
Yeah.
I did kind of come across
like the
that
fact
a
that
few
she
times.
paid for that video out of her own money, because obviously the record company gone, no, we're not going to support that one.
Yeah.
I'll put Venus and Serena in it. Yeah, that's good. We're not going to send it to anyone.
Debrat's grandma?
Debrat's grandma. She's telling everyone about it down there. The east side, west side.
I thought you were saying she was in hell.
Why would I say that?
Because I said earlier that she's probably dead.
Oh, she may not be. Like,
maybe not. Let's find out.
Debrat was very young. Her grandma could be 40.
I'm going to Google it. I'm just going to Google Debrat's grandma and just see what happens. Hang on. Debrat's grandma.
And now, Posh Googles
Oh,
Debrat.
this is uncomfortable.
Okay, don't stop looking.
No, it's just Debrat waited 25 years to come out because of her grandma.
Oh.
Hang on, my grandmother had passed away, but she was sanctified. But she's dead. I was right. The point is, I was right.
Posh Posh's glee at a dead nan. And now listen how excited Posh is about a dead grandmother.
Okay. No, I rip to Brat's grandma.
All right.
We'll miss you. Anyway, so stupid. I just like to be right, okay?
So
Do the cheeks.
You were excited about being right, not about a dead woman.
Exactly.
Can take that away. Oh, Mariah's lesson.
It's in this chapter, and it's in this episode. Can take that away. Mariah's lesson. Mariah's theme. Can't.
Lesson.
All of the taking
The
away.
theme, the lesson. Can't take it away.
What is your taken away lesson theme from this chapter?
Always go over your boss's head to the big boss. Whenever I'm having trouble at Hard Quiz, I just barrel up to Ida Buttrose working a dog in the park around the corner and go, Ida, can you tell one of my riders just to stop shitting me? And she laughs and says, we did once host Studio 10 together.
How was that?
That was fun. You know, it's a terrible
I'm
show.
just imagining you walking up to Ida and singing Tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker, you got the best of me.
So actually my lesson is very much the same thing. I said you have to advocate for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe in yourself and go after what you want, even when people are working against you, which means going to Ida Buttrose.
Going to the chairman of the ABC. The chairperson.
Was that your whole lesson?
That was my whole lesson. Go over your boss's head.
Lesson. Perfect. We're on the same page.
I know.
And I think it's time for a little I don't know her. So who don't we know in this
Who
episode?
do you think we don't
chapter?
know? I have a very controversial unknown.
Oh, okay. I wrote that I don't think we know Bobby Brown and Tommy doesn't know Walter Yetnikoff.
I think we don't know Babyface.
Oh. Is that because of, did he write or produce Can Take That Away?
No,
Or Can't Take That
he
Away? Or
produced
something else?
When You Believe.
When You Believe, that's right. When You Believe. Sorry, I just went a bit.
Believe!
Oprah.
There's so many believes in this album we're about to do.
I know.
You're going to be there for hours saying the name of the songs.
I literally, in a text message to Fab, said, right, we're going to do this song, which is Believe, and then this other song, which is Believe, and then another song, and then the fourth song is Believe, and then Believe.
Because there were so many names dropped in this chapter. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. We had every single person who had anything vaguely to do with Rainbow. Like, even 98 Degrees got a look in.
Venus and Serena were there.
Venus and Serena.
Debrat's
Debrat's grandma.
May she rest in peace.
Yet Babyface, who produced an Oscar-winning song, although his name was left off the Oscars because Stephen Schwartz, who wrote it, said he didn't really contribute much to the version that was in the
Maybe
film.
that's part of it.
Anyway, Babyface are removed.
But she must know him because we belong together.
I know, but maybe since having sung his name in that song, there has
That's
been...
That's why now when she sings it live, she just says, and when I hear... She just skips straight to, I'm feeling all out of my element. She just stands there in silence.
You sing 2 occasions. I don't want to.
Interesting. That's an interesting omission.
It's a very interesting... I mean, look, she was jamming a lot in it. Maybe she just didn't get a chance to get to the fact that Babyface produced that song. Because I'm interested in them performing together and what went on between them when they sang. And none of that is really in there. It's just like, she sang, I sang, we met, it was great. End of story.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
And maybe that's all it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. But yeah, no mention of Babyface. Also, he produced, I think, Whitney's whole album that song was from.
Okay.
whereas he's only produced 1 or 2 songs for Mariah here and there.
Yeah. Melt Away was one of them,
Yeah.
which you hate.
I don't hate it. Anyway,
I will say
we'll talk
quickly
more
just on
Babyface when we get into our number ones episode.
Yes, and just on the actually, we can talk more Mariah and Whitney too. Actually, no, we'll talk about it here because it's in the chapter.
Yeah.
I love that she does mention that the iciness wore off, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm picturing what that iciness would have been like in the studio. But then there's also conflicting things about whether they recorded in the same
I
studio
don't think
or
they
not.
did.
And
I reckon
no,
they
Mariah
recorded it
makes it sound
separately.
like they didn't, but then
Yeah.
there's times in interviews that maybe they were saying, no, you did. Wink, wink.
Oh no, I think that. But well, they performed it together. They performed it on
Yeah,
Oprah
for
together.
sure.
They performed it at the Oscars together. So they did. Obviously they didn't do those rehearsals separately. All those performances. So they did perform it together. But maybe the recording was done like separately, and maybe that's where the Babyface animosity comes from.
Maybe they were like, you have to record it separately so that it's apart and no one's competing for notes.
Mariah.
Now, we are ready for Mariah is...
Zim, 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 zim,
Zim, zim.
zim.
All right, so last chapter we each selected a Mariahism and put it to the Lamley for a vote for their fave. The 2 options were, I was kind of scary. What does that mean? Fuck him. And finally getting a shot of good vitamin D.
Vitamin D. The D vitamin. Yeah.
I think we're both going to be shocked at this.
Oh, no.
The winner? What does that mean? Fuck him. I was not expecting this.
F-bomb gets a
The
prize.
F-bomb. I really thought you had it in the bag with vitamin D.
Well, look, because it meant the sun, and also
Yeah.
maybe it was too grubby.
And that was my feelings. I was like, is this too far?
It's too far. Mariah's been
Have we gone too far?
lewd.
She got sun. I don't know whose son, but someone.
The mother loved me. The father loved me.
So yes, that look, I loved both, but I really didn't think it was going to happen.
More power to you.
So I do
you get
have,
to go first.
I do have one. It was a little harder in this one because I feel like a lot of them were quite subtle.
Yes.
In the shade, and I'll read out some of the others once we've both done ours. But the one I have settled on, it's kind of a doozy because it's both shady but also kind of a little too real. Is Bobby Brown was around, and I don't know what else was going on, but that wasn't my business.
I don't know what else was going on, but that wasn't my business.
Wasn't my business.
that
Kermit
is.
sips the tea.
Wasn't my business.
So, what is your?
I've been told it was billions. Who else in the world
That is a good one.
can drop billions as just a casually number that I don't know? It's probably
where it came from.
some amount of money, but I've been told it was billions.
It is good. It's not one I thought of, but it does work.
It's like, so in the hard quiz book that I wrote, the hard quiz book of the world's hardest asses, one of the chapters is about Dolly Parton. And one of my favorite moments, which is this is how I summed up the chapter, was talking about, we know Dolly for all these different things. But the thing that I love the most is that so when she found out that Dolly the sheep, the cloned sheep, was named after her because it was cloned from a mammary gland cell. It was cloned from another sheep's...
From a buzzy.
A breast cell from another sheep. And so they thought, hilarious, let's call it Dolly, because of Dolly's enormous bosoms. And Dolly's reaction when she was told that, rather than be offended, rather than, get all, oh, how dare you, like I'm more than my bosoms, she just went, well, that is amazing. And, when Dolly the sheep has finished, there is a place for her at my Dollywood theme park that she can hang out with other sheep. And I'm like, fuck, who else can name drop their own theme park when graciously accepting that a cloned sheep has been named after them? Just like, I'm just going to casually drop that. Just like, oh yeah, she's got a place at the theme park. And I'm like, that's like Mariah. I've been told it was billions.
Billions. Didn't do the math. Didn't need to.
Billions.
I actually thought you were going to say that Dolly said that once the sheep is done doing whatever it needs to, there's a place for it at my dinner table.
No.
That is honestly where I thought that was going.
No, it's Dolly. It's like, I'm just going to name drop the fact that I have a theme park.
And look, maybe they did tell Mariah how much money she'd made, but because of math, she was like, billions.
That's a lot of numbers. Like there's like
billions.
There's 6 commas. I don't even know how to count that high. That's billions. Really? That's when she was told. What is it? What are all these commas? That's billions. I've been told it was billions by my accountant.
He took a couple of those commas. I also wrote down for some special mentions. Meanwhile, the people at Sony were probably busy working on the next big global technology or whatever.
I know. Just like, they were making a PlayStation, I think.
Yeah. And deep down, I was hoping they'd just fire him so I could stay.
No. I mean,
But
that was
I don't know,
kind of like, you kind of got the impression that was the point of the trip, but you can't go, please fire my soon-to-be ex-husband so I can stay at the record label.
But here's 4 albums, I guess. At the end of the podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright. But this does mean that we are almost home. So, yes, as we've said, I think we'll have a couple of little bonus episodes on the number ones and the rainbow. Then we might have a little bit of a moment for ourselves. Like we all need to prepare for what I assume is going to be the brilliance of glitter.
It seriously is amazing. It's Max Beasley's most amazing performance of all time.
Heaven. But before we go, we do have another review on the iTunes.
Oh, excellent.
So,
hello.
I know, Hassa81. I think it's Hassa. We know the Hassa from the Twitters. But it could be Hassa. I don't know. Gave us 5 stars with the headline being Barrel of Laughs. A fun podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously like some other artist fan podcasts.
Regular name artist fan podcast. And worth it just for when Posh reads out Mariah's achievements. Oh, you've got a fan.
Thank you, darling. And I want to quickly point out that Hassa is a big Janet Jackson fan, and we mentioned Janet in this episode. So timing, darling. It's all happening.
It's all falling into place. Well, thank you so much. Yes, rate and review on the iTunes, the Stitches, the wherever you can do that. Yeah. You know, just on Google. Just review us like we're a terrible cafe.
Type in our address.
You can get us on the Twitter at Me I Am a Memoir. Also, that is what we are on the Facebook, the Instagram, and Me I Am a Memoir at gmail.com. If you want to write longer than 280 characters. If you really feel
of
the
hate.
But yes, we will take any stars you can throw at us and a review. That would be lovely. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and Posh will read it out.
It is. It's fun.
In the style of one of Mariah's lists of accolades.
Yeah. We got 4 bajillion stars.
I've heard it was billions.
Yeah. Oh, we are so stupid. All right. Bye, Lamely.
Bye, Lamely.